definitely, a long road to get to this point. Stuff takes time. My dad, he always say, man, he's so stubborn. Yeah, I'm stubborn, but my stubbornness, that's what got me here.
Look at it. Look, if you punch, boom, 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 it moves. Whatever punch is, the last one you move on that side. All right? A lot of sparring, all the physical straining, running, lifting weights, that's beautiful. But you need to practice on what you have to do, and you have to box. So you should do as much boxing as possible leading up to the fight.
Brendan Bradford recently discussed Tszyu's preparation and highlighted several technical adjustments being made in camp. According to Bradford, the Australian star has been focusing on correcting small mistakes while sharpening the fundamentals that made him successful in the first place. He also noted that while Spence's reputation and accomplishments explain why many favor him,
Not trying to pull it back too far, right? Try to do.
the betting odds may not fully reflect how competitive this fight could actually be. Errol Spence has also spoken openly about how stepping away from the sport helped him develop a more structured approach to both life and training. The former champion explained that the time away allowed him to reset mentally, focus on personal growth, and return with a renewed sense of discipline.
With his jab, like he's been doing in the gym, coming forward, punching to the body with his hard punches and bringing it to the head. I've been through that when you think the further you pull your hand back, the harder you punch, but it's not. Punching comes with relaxation, real good pinpoint accuracy punching. You can hit a guy with pop, boom.
He believes those changes have helped him become more focused than ever as he prepares for this important chapter of his career. As you've just seen, the tension between Errol Spence and Tim Tszyu continues to grow with every interview, training session, and public appearance. Both fighters appear fully confident in their ability to win, and neither.
The harder I work, it's gonna benefit, my kids, my mother, my father. So I know it's not just me, and that's one of the things I had to realize again once the car accident and, certain things happened, and realize that it's not just me, I'm in there, not just me, I'm fighting for everybody, because everybody's sacrificing their own way.
There you go, control.
And when it gets hard, I'll be like, man, I don't know if I can do this. But then I'll be like, my kids deserve better. Now I'm gonna keep working, I'm gonna keep grinding.
Each side seems willing to back down. With emotions running high and so many questions still unanswered, all eyes are now on fight night. The only thing left to discover is who will prove their point once the bell rings and the action finally begins.
In the bag, right? I see you hitting the wall. I want you to do like this a little bit. Boom, 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 boom. They keep boom, 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 boom. How long you can do that? One, two. The combination, boom, the punch, boom, boom.
With Mike Tyson closely involved throughout training camp, Errol Spence Jr. is pushing through intense workouts as he prepares for his highly anticipated showdown with Tim Tszyu. Every session appears focused, demanding, and purposeful as the former champion works to sharpen his skills ahead of a major comeback.
You have to understand when you're first learning, and he's got a style all his own. Mike comes in, or if anybody comes in and teaches something new, it's tough to pick up. This punching power, it all works hand in hand. It flows like water, as Bruce Lee says. And let me tell you, Tyson Fury said it doesn't matter if he has Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, and Mike Tyson training him. The fact of the matter is, all of those three combined are a novelty of the cuss style, of a boxing style that Mike knows like the back of his hand, and he knows in his sleep.
The presence of a boxing icon like Tyson has only increased interest in Spence's preparation, with many fans eager to see what lessons and adjustments he can bring into the ring. After spending nearly 3 years away from competition,
If I miss a tackle, I got someone to get my back. If I drop the ball, someone can pick me up. If Earl drops the ball, that's over.
one of the biggest priorities in camp has been helping Spence regain the explosiveness that made him such a dangerous fighter at his peak. Training sessions have focused heavily on timing, power, and punch placement, with the goal of ensuring that Spence can still deliver the type of impactful shots that helped him dominate opponents throughout his career.
It's not about fighting, and it's just that we had to transfer that because he's using his legs and elbows and everything, grabbing. So we kind of, I don't know. did a new foundation and made him more elusive. You know, made him more elusive. He throws his punches with just bad intentions. And I used to believe the consistency of the hard punches to the body, to the head, what he's capable of doing.
Oh, that's so beautiful. That's better than all the hard punching in the world. Go ahead.
Just want to see how much he wants and how far he go, how far he wants to go.
Conditioning has also become a major area of focus because everyone understands the type of pressure Tim Tszyu is likely to bring on fight night. Camp has emphasized endurance, footwork, and explosive movement to help Spence deal with a relentless opponent who constantly pushes the pace.
Okay. You got Anthony Joshua, you like a David Robinson. The whole lineup. You got Ryan Garcia, you like a Manu Ginobili. You know, you got Frank, he like a Tony Parker.
The objective is to make sure he enters the ring physically prepared for every challenge Tszyu may present. Concepts reportedly being discussed during camp is the famous peekaboo style that Mike Tyson used throughout his career. System is built around constant head movement, compact defense, and explosive counterpunching designed to create openings while minimizing damage.
This here gets pushed. So I think that's why I see, like, if you look at Errol, you can push, push, push. I'm rooting for Errol. I'm rooting for Errol in this fight, but good luck to...
While every fighter has their own style, there are certain principles from Tyson's approach that can benefit almost anyone. The effectiveness of the peekaboo system comes from its combination of defense and offense working together at all times. Fighters are taught to stay active, maintain disciplined positioning, and capitalize on opportunities the moment they appear. Executed properly, it allows a boxer to remain difficult to hit while still creating dangerous offensive chances of their own. Of course.
Too close, so you shouldn't be too scared of needles, right?
Yeah. I'm good on that. I'm just getting my body ready to go out in all-out war because I don't know what he's gonna bring to the table. It could be anything. It's all about training your body, you know, physically and mentally to prepare for war. I feel like the greats, whether it's basketball, football, boxing, whatever, you know, they kept focused 100% all the time. And that 1 second you lose focus, that's the 1 second you can get caught or something can happen. So I believe that's what's gonna keep me at the high level, just staying focused. Once you lose focus, even in life, once you lose.
Incorporating new techniques is never a simple process, regardless of who is teaching them. Even when learning from one of the greatest fighters in boxing history, every adjustment requires repetition, discipline, and countless hours of practice. The challenge is finding ways to blend new ideas into a fighter's existing strengths without disrupting what already makes them successful. Sparring sessions have also played a crucial role in Spence's preparation.
As I got older, you know, it gets a lot harder, so it's been a real serious issue for me.
In between each meal, he's got to drink 32 ounces of fluid. He's like, so I gotta do this every time? I'm like, yeah.
And the old school is the whole not drinking water, you know, eating less. You know, you're always hungry, you're always thirsty, and then that, you know, affects your mood.
A little trick to cooking healthy is citrus.
This is my first time, like, going all the way through with a nutritionist. They take care of you and make sure, you know, you drink and you ask questions.
He just hangs out with his kid, his lady, and he focuses on smashing the head, you know, on April 16th.
It's a good thing to not having to rely on myself and rely on him to make weight easy. All I gotta do is just focus on the fight and focus on training and work on.
Members of the team have reportedly brought in partners capable of mimicking Tszyu's aggressive style, forcing Spence to deal with constant forward pressure in physical exchanges. The goal is to recreate the type of situations he is likely to encounter once the fight officially begins. For Spence, the lessons being emphasized throughout camp go beyond physical techniques. Mental toughness, confidence, and ring control have become major points of focus as well. The ability to stay composed under pressure and impose your will on an opponent is often just as important as any punch thrown during the fight itself. Spence has also been working with a variety of professional fighters and talented prospects throughout camp.
You feel like you didn't take too much time?
Because I was also active, and I was also active as far as, you know, playing soccer, training, playing soccer, and learning soccer. You know, going to the gym. You know, running around, just doing stuff, just being active, and you know, a lot of the vices that I had in the past. You know, I don't drink anymore, so just a lot of stuff that was slowing me down. You know, it's not anymore. It's not being a vice. I'm more with my family. You know, if I'm not with my family, I'm probably training somewhere, or you know, I'm probably traveling, seeing the world.
Different styles help sharpen his reactions and improve his ability to adapt under pressure. By seeing different looks in sparring, Spence is giving himself the best possible chance to handle whatever challenges Tim Tszyu brings on fight night. Anthony Joshua has publicly expressed confidence in Errol Spence's chances against Tszyu.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see a different version of Errol Spence. And I feel like he has going to be better than he was in the past. And what I mean by that is, first round knockout coming soon. And Tim Tszyu is going to sleep, man. The boy ain't got nothing for him but dude from Australia. My boy, he coming to Australia just to give him the work, you feel me? But back to what I was saying, I just feel like Errol Spence, you know, he's going to be a great fighter, just doing the thing I see him in camp. And,
while acknowledging that Tim is a dangerous and determined opponent, Joshua believes Spence's experience at the highest level could become a major advantage. In his view, years of championship competition have given Spence the knowledge and composure needed to perform in big moments. Despite the lengthy break from competition, Spence continues to impress observers with the intensity of his workouts.
Would be too much for Tim Tszyu. I'll say it right now. Tim Tszyu, we've seen all of the talks about him bringing Errol Spence back into the fold. I think the game misses Errol Spence. I think boxing needs Errol Spence. And I like this fight, and I like the fact that Tim is obviously coming off a win.
Even though it's not a current champion, like Errol Spence probably wanted, you know, when he first started talking about coming back, he wanted to fight Sebastian Fundora, which now everybody's looking at, he's a hard guy to fight.
Wait a minute.
But that's how Spence is, you know?
No tune-ups.
Right, but even though he's not fighting a champion, Tim Tszyu ain't a tune-up.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? He's actually a very skillful fighter. He just has some losses now. You know, losing to Fundora, getting stopped or whatever, that hurt him a lot. Even though Spence only has one loss, they're both in the same boat where they need a good name now to put him right back on top, because they're right, especially Spence, you're right there.
Training footage shows him attacking the heavy bag with speed, power, and purpose while maintaining a strong work rate throughout sessions. For supporters of the former champion, those clips have been encouraging signs as the comeback fight draws closer. Recovery has become just as important as training during this camp. Alongside his boxing workouts, Spence has reportedly incorporated therapies such as stretching routines, physiotherapy, ice baths, massage treatments, and cupping therapy. These methods are designed to help his body recover more efficiently and remain fresh throughout the demanding preparation process. Nutrition has also been a major focus ahead of the fight. Spence has committed himself to a disciplined diet built around quality proteins, controlled carbohydrates, and proper hydration.
but they're not in the same boat. Errol Spence lost to arguably one of the greatest fighters of all time.
I understand
and that's his only loss.
And I think he can get a big fight no matter what.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tim Tszyu got to prove himself. But yeah, Errol Spence can have a big fight straight off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, he reigned at 147 for a very long time. And look,
was on the pound for pound
he's
list.
taking a longer break than I guess people anticipated or that people even want. But let that man, let him do what he needs to do in order to get his mind right back into the sport. I'll say it right now. And you can take
here
it
it
to
comes.
the bank. I'm just saying.
Take it to the
I
bank.
think Errol Spence would be too much for Tim Tszyu. I think this break is going to serve Errol Spence well. I'm so keen on that. I just think that he needed this break, and we're going to see a great.
Maintaining the right balance allows him to manage his weight while preserving the energy, strength, and endurance necessary for a high-level performance. Meanwhile, Tim Tszyu continues putting in serious work of his own as he prepares for the challenge ahead. Training footage has shown him working through sharp mid-drills and focused combinations while maintaining the intensity expected from a fighter preparing for one of the biggest fights of his career.
What type of fighter do you expect besides the, because of the fact that he hasn't been in the ring for 3 years, and he chose this time to come back and fight you in your backyard?
Yeah, I think he's refreshed, rejuvenated. I hope he is. When he fought Terence Crawford, I felt like he looked a bit dizzy, So I don't know. So hopefully he's all right. Hopefully he's at his peak. That's what I.
Determination suggests he is taking nothing for granted. Spence has repeatedly stated that the time away from boxing ultimately benefited him in several ways. Beyond allowing his body to recover, he believes the break gave him an opportunity to clear his mind and regain his motivation.
Shows what we can do. Thank you to No Limit. Thank you to Matt Rose for making all this possible. We got big backing. We got big crowds, big numbers. So when you have that, a lot of things are possible.
As we heard, this fight is at a catch weight 158, but no matter what, you're still going to be a 154-pounder, correct?
Yeah.
With that said, a win against Spence, does it put you back in the Fundora talk, or do you have your eye on a fight that'll happen a month prior to yours, and that's Beats versus Xander?
Look, I'm willing to take on all challenges. Another Fundora fight, I'm down. Yeah, there's a lot of different fights to be made for sure. Boots and Zayas, that's an interesting one as well. So yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. I would love to fight Charlo. That's one of the fights that's been in the head of mine for a long time. So if I can get a Charlo post this one, let's get.
According to Spence, stepping away helped him return with a renewed appreciation for the sport and a stronger desire to compete. Brian Norman Jr. believes fans could be surprised by what version of Errol Spence shows up on fight night. Norman has suggested that a refreshed and fully focused Spence still possesses the experience, power, and ring IQ needed to compete with anyone. He even hinted that if Spence performs at his best, the fight could become much more one-sided than many people expect. Many analysts continue to favor Errol Spence despite the long layoff because of everything he has accomplished throughout his career.
I say, if I come back, I'll be a shell of myself. If he comes back, he probably not gonna come back. He's damaged. I just, use it all as fuel. Some people can use it all as not motivated and be like, let that knock them down. I'll use it as fuel.
They point to his championship experience, elite boxing skills, and ability to control fights behind a strong jab and relentless body attack. At the same time, most acknowledge that Tszyu's pressure and aggression could create difficult moments, particularly in the early rounds. Supporters of Spence also argue that there is a significant difference in experience between the two fighters when it comes to competing at the highest level. They often highlight Spence's victories against world-class opposition and his success in major championship fights. In their view, those experiences could provide a valuable advantage if the contest becomes a close and tactical battle. Tim Tszyu, however, remains completely confident in his chances. He has pointed to Spence's loss against Terence Crawford as proof that even elite fighters can be exposed under the right circumstances. Tszyu believes that aggressive pressure, smart timing, and disciplined execution can create opportunities against any opponent, including a former champion like Spence. For Tszyu, the focus remains firmly on the task directly in front of him. While bigger fights and championship opportunities may be waiting in the future, he understands that everything depends on defeating Spence first. A victory would instantly elevate his position in the division and open the door to some of the biggest opportunities of his career. Following the difficult defeat to Terence Crawford, Spence admitted that many people questioned whether he should continue boxing. Rather than allowing those doubts to define him, he chose to focus on rebuilding himself through training, recovery, and self-reflection. He has repeatedly emphasized that adversity is part of every great fighter's journey and believes this comeback is an opportunity to prove that point. The biggest question now is whether Errol Spence can successfully return after such a long absence and handle the relentless pressure Tim Tszyu is expected to bring. Some believe Spence's experience and skill will ultimately carry him through, while others feel Tszyu's activity and momentum could make the difference. Either way, all eyes will be on Fight Night as both fighters attempt to make a statement in one of the most intriguing matchups in boxing.